Hello and welcome back to my writing vlog series. This is writing vlog number 34. I've been doing this for more than 6 months now, so I hope that I will have done a lot of good things with my novels by the time I have a 1 year anniversary here on YouTube, but there's a bit of time till that happens. I'm filming this on the 15th of January 2026, and I'm going to work on a new chapter 25. In the previous writing vlog, I wrote a completely new chapter 24, and what I'm going to write today is following up on that. It's a natural continuation of the story, and I might change my mind regarding the last plot points I have outlined for my novel. I've got some things in mind that are going to happen toward the end of the story. The very last chapter will be the same as before, I think, but the things that need to happen from now until then might change. I have outlined the story for each chapter from now and up until the last one, but the events that take place in those chapters might be different. If I'm going to write something completely new in this in this chapter, which I think I will, then maybe I need a different ending, or not the ending, the ultimate ending of the story, but the last part of the story might change because of that. And maybe the climax that I thought or think I'm going to go with isn't the one that I will end up writing, because maybe it is a bit outdated to write a climax based on something like that. And in these modern times, there are things that are normal now that weren't normal just a few decades ago, and I'm thinking about making my climax something about people not wanting my main character to be gay. She has a relationship with someone, and as far as people know, they're the same gender, and people don't really respond that well to that. But maybe this homophobia is outdated in a novel today. Maybe I could somehow write somewhere that the novel takes place before our time. Maybe I could enter something or write something like how the technology is at that time. But regarding technology, my main character has a cell phone. She has a smartphone, I imagine. But if this story takes place, for example, 20 years ago, then smartphones weren't that normal, or I don't think they were a thing yet 20 years ago, or maybe they were. I don't exactly remember, but I don't know. I've stated somewhere that the phone she has is a smartphone, I think. Maybe I could switch it so it's a it's a more old-fashioned phone. I imagine that this story takes place around our present time, but that means that the phone she has is a smartphone. And if she has a smartphone, people or readers can deduce that it's a pretty new story. Or I wrote the novel in 2019, but even though that was a few years ago, things have changed, but they haven't changed that much. And now that I'm editing and rewriting some of it in 2025 and 2026, things aren't that different. But regarding the technology in the story, I'm not sure if I should just leave that part out, or if I should state somewhere the year that it takes place. Well, enough about smartphones and technology. What I really wanted to talk about is this fact that the plot point for the climax that I have in mind is about other people in the story being against gay people, regardless of whether they are men into men or women into women. But I don't know. Maybe I should change the story in a different direction, so it's more about what the core of the story is about, and not this side thing that happens to be a part of the story because of the circumstances. So I'm not sure, but I will just start writing this new chapter. It's a bit strange to call it a new chapter because the old version of the story only had 21 or 22 chapters. So I'm adding stuff and fleshing out the story more. So I think that I will actually just call it, I'm writing a chapter 25 for this story, which it didn't have before, but I'll get to work on the novel, and and once I'm done writing a new chapter, or this chapter 25, I will get back to you and then talk about what I have written and my plans with the story going forward. Maybe I hope that I will get some great idea while I write for the rest of the story, so I can change my outline and then maybe shift the focus of the story away from what I had imagined, or what I'm the plans I have for the novel as it is at this point. But yes, I'll get to work and get back to you.
See your face in the morning light. I wanna be the place where you sleep at night. I wanna watch you when you sleep. I wanna catch you if you fall. I wanna dry the tears you weep. I die to be the one you call, 'cause I can't love you like nobody else. I won't keep love to myself. I'll bring it down to my knees. If that should be what you please, I'll drop what's in my hands to help you. That's why no one can love you like I do. I hope you'll soon realize it's true that no one can love you like I do. I wanna hold your hand, but if you break down, I will still understand. I will be around, wanna kiss the ground you walk on. I wanna hold the door for you, but I will let it slide back in, 'cause you have to realize what I do. 'Cause I will love you like nobody else. I won't keep love to myself. I'll bring it down to my knees. If that should be what you please, I'll drop what's in my hands to help you. That's why no one can love you like I do. I hope you'll soon realize it's true that no one can love you like I do. I wanna stand by, lend a helping hand. Just do what you want to, 'cause I understand. I wanna speak the words you say. I wanna catch a falling star. I wanna love you day by day, 'cause I'll always wanna be where you are. And I'll still love you like nobody else. I won't keep love to myself. I'll bring it down to my knees. If that should be what you please, I'll drop what's in my hands to help you. That's why no one can love you like I do. I hope you'll soon realize it's true that no one can love you like I do. There's no use to speak when you're not there. I think I'm getting weak, so I truly hope you'll care. There's no need to live if you don't wanna be here. I'll give you anything I can give, so at least you can dry my tears. But I will love you like always. You know I do. I think of you all day. Just say you think of me too. I know you know much, but not enough about me. I'm always dying to feel your touch. Ain't there reasons enough to like nobody else? I won't keep love to myself. I'll bring it down to my knees. I'll drop what's in my hands to help you. That's why no one can love you like I do. I hope you'll soon realize
Hello again. I'm now done working on the novel for today. It is a bit late, and I think 2.5 hours have passed since I actually began working on this. I have written chapter 25, and I just checked earlier, and the old version only had 22 chapters. So I'm expanding on it, as I said, but things are shifting. I will get back to that later if I remember to talk about it, but in this writing session today, I have written 5,344 words. Those words are the total for the chapter, which consists of 2 scenes. There's a bit shorter scene at the beginning and then a longer one. I had something in mind for this chapter that I was going to write, but then I changed my mind, and then I changed my mind again. I came up with something that should happen in this chapter, but then I thought of something that was better. But when I was about to actually write it, and when I wrote the beginning of the chapter, I figured that I could change a few things and then make my main character more active instead of her reacting to what other people do, instead of her taking charge and doing something. So my original plan was that it was this Charlie character who demands that his parents let my main character come and live with them. That part of the novel is still the same, but I had something else in mind for that scene. Instead of my main character coming to a dorm room and then hearing that Charlie has been hurt and then going to the hospital, she comes in to this dorm room and finds him, and then she calls 911, and the ambulance comes and they are off to the hospital. And then at the hospital, my main character takes charge in the sense that she actually calls Charlie's parents to let them know that this thing has happened to him. My other plan was that they somehow show up to the hospital because they hear that he has gotten hurt, and then my main character isn't really that active, but it's still Charlie who demands that if he is going to live with them, then they have to accept that Katrina has to live with them as well. So the scene unfolded a bit differently than what I had in mind before today, but I think this is better. I had another idea for this, but that was before I wrote the previous chapter, which was actually quite extensive. There were 2 parts to that, and I only got to write the first part of it in that chapter, and so I ended the previous writing log with saying that I wanted to save or write that next part of that outline for the previous chapter in this chapter, and so that's what I have done. And I also talked about how I think I can actually just keep the troublesome chapter as it is. Maybe I need to adjust a few things, but I don't need to split it anymore, I think. And I don't need to add something to the beginning. My original plan was that I would end the story a bit sooner, or not end the story in a general sense, but end that part of the story before this part, and then include the thing about my main character coming to live with them again, along with Charlie, in the beginning of the next chapter. I hope it makes sense, but actually the essence of what I have written today is still the same, I think. So my main character gets the life back that she has come to know, and she's still with this other major character. I guess you might call him a main character at this point anyway. I'm not sure if he's a main character or a major side character. But Charlie and my main character Katrina are getting along, and as I wrote this second scene in this chapter, I got an idea, and there was something that Charlie's parents know, but it's something that his sisters didn't know. But now in this chapter, one of the parents slips up and actually refers to the character by the wrong name, and then one of the girls goes like, "Oh, so you're role playing again now?" And then they they actually come clean. They tell the girls the truth about this situation that is a bit complicated, and so they go, oh, okay, well, they accept it more or less. They think it's strange, but they accept it. And Dina and Greg are, I guess that they are relieved that they don't have to tiptoe around this subject anymore, and that they have to be careful and not tell them that anything is wrong or out of the ordinary. And now that the girls know, they actually helped put pressure on Dina, because Dina is the main obstacle in terms of getting my main character to come live with them again. Greg isn't that opposed to the idea, even though Katrina is a stranger, and now that the girls know, they go like, oh, okay, we want her to come, we want her to stay with us. She's not a stranger. And then Dina gives in, and she's like, oh, okay, I guess it's all right. I hope that things will be fine. And then Greg assures her that things will be fine. And I have this chapter ends with my main character reflecting on this part of the dialogue, that she hopes that things will be all right. Things are complicated, but hopefully it will be okay. That's what I have written, these 5,344 words. They took a bit of time to write, of course, but I think they're good words. I think they improved the story. My novel is at 113,000 words, more or less. As I have stated earlier, I think this story changes. I came up with an idea that this person who assaulted Charlie is going to be a problem later, because I was about to say my main character, but Charlie does not want to report it to the police, and one of the other characters, I think it's actually Dina, who says, as long as you don't report him, he's still a problem and you're still in danger. But Charlie is like, oh, it will be okay. I have done a lot of football. I've been practicing a lot and I'm strong, and I could have put up a fight against this person who assaulted me, but I didn't. But I will do it if he tries anything again. And so I think that will be a clue for later, that he's actually going to be a problem later. And then I can switch it around. As I said in the beginning, what I have in mind for the climax is something about homophobia, because until further notice, the plan is that it's a group of football players that are going to call my main character, or not my main character, but call Charlie and Katrina fags or something like that. They don't like that they're gay. That will be a problem, of course, but the outline I have for that is, I won't go into details with it, but the outline basically is something about these football players not liking Charlie and Katrina because they're gay, and then they will attack them for some reason, but maybe it's too outdated. Maybe these young people that play football as well aren't that close-minded. I guess they're more open-minded as younger people are today. And so this older character who assaulted Charlie earlier might be, I don't know if bigoted is the right word, but this other character certainly does not like when people are gay, regardless of whether they're men into men or women into women. And so he doesn't really like either of my two characters. And Katrina doesn't like him either, and she has actually met this character and knows that he's got a temper and that he might be dangerous. And so it was important for her to get Charlie out of that situation and away from that house, and so he can get a physical distance from this dangerous person, potentially dangerous. And so I haven't decided anything yet, but I hope that the answer will present itself once I get farther into the story. I'm at chapter 25 now, as I have said before, and then the next chapter, I had planned on splitting that up and adding things to that, but instead I have added a completely new chapter before, and that bridges the gap, I think, and so the next chapter can be as it was before. So I'm going to merge it back together and then just read through that and then make adjustments if or when I need to do that. And then the chapters after that will need to be rewritten, or not rewritten, but they will have to be written from scratch because they don't exist. As I have mentioned before, it's like I have skipped several plot points in the 27 chapter method, but it is what it is. I hope that I can fill in these blanks, and now that I have a story, I'm fleshing out this story and it's getting longer and longer still, but I hope I will be able to either just accept that it's above 100,000 words or trim chapters or paragraphs. Maybe I could tell certain things instead of showing them, and maybe I think there's at least one chapter I might as well delete entirely, but I don't know about that yet, but I'll see when I get back to reading the story from beginning to end. Today has been quite productive, I think, and I think I've got a plan for the rest of the novel, but let's see. I might change my mind about what's going to happen, but I think these major plot points in the story with the remaining plot points I have left are going to be the same in general. There's going to be something physical, something about a fight that pushes the story in a new direction toward the ending. And that is not going to change. The circumstances for that fight, or that, I don't know, I don't know if it will be fisticuffs as such, or if she just happens to fall, or if something else happens, but I've got plans for my main character and other characters in this story as well, but I will see what I'm going to do with that. But I think the major plot points are going to be as they are, as I plan on them to be. This thing about the homophobia might change. I might shift it so that this other character is a problem instead of these young people. And maybe the young people are just commenting on, oh, you're a fag, but be very casual about it and just tease in a kind way instead of being very masculine and very aggressive and just intolerant of this. So I think it might be better that this other character lurks in the background, and then he's the the villain of the story. Before, I didn't really have a villain. I just had this idea for this football game where they are playing, and things are pretty casual, but then things go wrong because the others find out that my main character and Charlie are gay, and they don't like gay people, and then things will evolve from there in a bad way. But yes, I think I'm going to change it. Maybe I will come up with something completely different, but the ending is still going to be the same, I think. So it's just a question of how I'm going to get from here to there. I think that's it for now. I'm going to end this writing vlog here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will watch the next one. Until then, take care. Thank you for watching.